All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to call to order the Waukegan City Council's special Public Works and Infrastructure Committee meeting for Monday, December 6, 2021 at 5:40 p.m. May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Turner,
Here?
Alderman Seeger,
Present.
Alderman Bowden,
Present.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Present.
Alderman Newsom.
Present.
Thank you. Item B, approval of minutes. If I can have a motion to approve the minutes of November 15th, 2021.
So moved.
Moved by Alderman Newsom. Is there a second? Anybody?
Seeger. Second.
Seeger? Second by Alderman Seeger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you. Audience time. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to address the committee members regarding an item that is on tonight's agenda? Mr. Lerner.
All right, good evening. Nice to see everybody. Quincy Baster, Superintendent of Parks, and Jay Lerner, Executive Director with the Waukegan Park District. Here, Chris Garland, we've been working with on relocating the traffic control box in front of the Carnegie building. Quincy will hand these out to you if that's okay. As you know, a couple years ago, the city gave us the Carnegie Library for us to renovate into a Waukegan History Museum. The project's moving along very nicely. We're almost completed with our design phase, which will be done here by the end of the year, and we'll look to go out to bid on the project in March of 2022. We're estimating over a $12 million renovation of that building. That building's 50 years old. It's been sitting vacant for that long, and everything costs a lot more these days, but fortunately we've had a good chunk of that given to us through grants and donations, but the Park District is putting in several $1 million for the project. The Historical Society, myself, and the mayor met several months back, and we had asked about having the traffic box relocated to the other side of the street. At that time, we'd asked for the city to do it, and then after various conversations, we had a verbal agreement to split the cost. So the cost is approximately $85,000, be about $42,500 for each party. We'd like to see that happen. You know, that continues our partnership with the city. I know we've done a lot of things with you in recent times, and we'll continue to do so. Maybe explore the lakefront and other things in the future as well. But asking for your support on that for this evening. Well, actually, I believe it's not for 2 weeks that you'll vote on that. Our park board, will be voting on that next Tuesday, and expect them to pass that, and hope you'll do the same. Happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Right. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else for audience time? Okay, great, thank you. Item 2, there's no old business. Item 3, new business. Item A, a motion to approve an ordinance authorizing the proper city officials to dispose of and recycle vehicles for a flat rate with Auto Parts City. Committee members, you may recall that back in October we did a similar motion for, how many vehicles we do back then? 6?
Yeah, it was between 6 and 10.
6 and 10, maybe it's 10, regardless. So this is a continuation. We had anticipating putting all of these 16 vehicles that we're discussing here on this line item were to have been included back in October, but there was, they didn't have the paperwork together for coming out of the building department. And so now we have our new building commissioner. He was able to go back and look through records and put everything in proper order. And this is just a continuation of that effort to dispose of vehicles that are no longer serviceable. These vehicles can't even be driven on the streets. They've been scavenged and cannibalized for parts to help maintain the fleet out there. So I'd ask for a motion to approve the motion to approve this line item. Yes,
I
sir.
had a question.
Yes, questions?
I had a question.
Yes.
Now,
Alderman
would these vehicles prevent, I know they've been complaining about the trucks damaging the roads and things of that sort. Can you address that? Will this be accommodating for that?
No, this is a variety of vehicles. Some are sedans. I think there's a
Okay.
SUV. There's a pickup truck in there. These are all old vehicles from
Okay.
2000, 2003, 2007. Very old, very high mileage. And in many cases, as I mentioned, public works guys, mechanics have cannibalized parts, like maybe they take a starter or lighting, headlight assemblies or something to fix other vehicles. So they're basically hawks, and there's no way that they'd be used. No one's going to buy them to refurbish them. They're very high mileage. You can imagine, I don't know if you guys know this, with like, as an example, police cars that we have, they're often like 200, 300,000 miles on those cars, just from riding around Waukegan. So, does that answer your question, ma'am? Okay, great.
Thank you so much.
Right. May I have a motion? Motion by Alderman Seager, second by Alderman Kirkwood. Thank you, gentlemen. And a roll call, please.
Alderman Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Seager.
Aye.
Alderman Bowden.
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood.
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item B, the motion to waive the competitive bidding requirements and approve the resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2022 dump truck from Curie Commercial Center for a not-to-exceed amount of $62,566. These funds to be charged to line item 307-1307-26362 as this 208 or year 2018 B bond. So this is money that's left over from a bond that was floated back in 2018. Excuse me. And I think we had talked about this in a previous expenditure that we made. So basically, we've got funds sitting in available to be used, and we have a need for this dump truck, and we're getting a great price through Curie Automotive. Asking for a motion to spend. Yes, sir. Mr. Earl, Alderman Kirkwood.
And I know that, in the past, you were always concerned about not doing the, waiving the competitive bidding. Is there a reason now? And I understand we need the truck, I have no problem with that, but is this the best price that we can get? Because you were adamant before you became the chair about waiving competitive bidding. So is this the best price we can get? Did we go through the state to see if there's a better pricing?
Yes, they are the best prices, and not only that, they have everything that the truck is needed. I mean, there's different pieces and parts that go to a truck, so they have everything that's needed for the truck ready to go when it's time to purchase it.
Okay, and that's the same in terms of C, same situation, where we're, bidding for purchase of another dump truck.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
The difference being, well, we'll talk about item C when it comes up. Let's continue with item B.
And
Yes, ma'am.
I would just like to add to that is because of COVID and getting manufacturing parts and things like that, it's difficult to wait because you might not get what you need
That's right.
before winter.
Yeah, supply chain is just, the supply chain for everything is just disastrous.
I understand that, but I guess,
Right.
if the, competitive bidding is out there, if there's a reason, okay, because I know that previously, we were really concerned about
Absolutely.
not having competitive bidding. That's my only concern.
Absolutely. And to that point, I'm just going to make a segue and go back to the line item we just passed for disposal of these vehicles. I had a conversation with the director today, with chief of staff previously, just regards that, because I was curious why we were not, why we were selling at a flat rate and if anyone else had an opportunity to buy. So that remains a concern of mine, Alderman, and I appreciate that you too have that concern. And this lends itself to the transparency that we talked about, and I'm just delighted. So yeah,
Okay. All right,
if you have
thank
any
you.
other questions, I mean, we're
No,
here,
not at all.
this time is for.
Okay.
You satisfied, sir?
Yes, I am.
Okay, thank you.
Well, this is brand new.
Yeah, this is a brand new truck, and as Alderman Or as our director mentioned, Patrick, you buy these vehicles, right, and these specialized vehicles, you may need to accessorize them further, right? So we say it's a dump truck, right? It's got a trunk on, a dump on the bed or whatever. But maybe you need backup signals, the beep, beep, beep that people talk about is annoying, and whatever, special lighting, brake systems, chocks, whatever. So all of that is included in this price for this vehicle.
That sounds good.
Right.
Thank
We
you.
have your motion, Mr. Seeger, Mr. Kirkwood. Motion by Mr. Seeger. Motion second by Mr. Kirkwood. Thank you, gentlemen. Roll call, please. Item B.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Bolton,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item C. Again, a motion to waive the competitive bidding requirements and approve a resolution authorizing the purchase of a 2021 dump truck from Curie Commercial Center for a not-to-exceed price of $66,637. Funds to be charged in line item 307-13072-6362, 2018B bonds, again from the same bond issuance back in 2018. I do have a question here, Mr. Director, in that this is a 2021 vehicle and it's costing us about $4,000 more than the 2022 vehicle.
What we did was we added some features onto it, like for instance, one of them doesn't have a plow, and we added a plow to this one.
Right.
One of them, the bed is shorter, one of them, the bed is longer.
Okay, that makes sense. Great, thank you. And just for your edification, ladies and gentlemen, when we add that snowplow, it's more than just the blade. It's an entire system, right? You have the levers, the hydraulics, et cetera, electronics or electricals that all go into that, and it is rather expensive. I tried to price one for my truck, and that's not going to be okay. Go ahead. No,
So I guess now this would be a more appropriate question. They've been complaining about the blades tearing up the roads. Can you elaborate on
We got rubber blades that's coming too.
this time? It's rubber blades, okay.
Great question, and I love that answer because you know where I'm going next, right? All right. If there are no more questions, I'd like a motion, please. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Kirkwood. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Bolton,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Thank you all. Item D, I'd like a motion to adopt a resolution approving a professional services agreement along with an addendum with Sierra Group to refresh Phase 1 study of the Genesee Street Bridge for an amount of $30,000 to be charged in line item 228-9228-27708. Are there any questions before we take a motion?
Didn't we already do a study on this?
Sorry,
I
speak
just
up
wanted to
and
say
speak into the
I
mic,
had a
sir.
lot of complaints about this, so I'm glad to see it finally on there.
Didn't we already do a study on it?
We did a partial study, and we're refreshing. I mean, time has passed since that initial study was done. I think that was
Okay.
last year, I believe.
Yeah, last year.
Yeah. So this is a refresh of that study, basically redoing the study.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Other questions? Motion, please. Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Bolton. Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Seager,
Aye.
Alderman Bolton,
Aye.
Alderman Kirkwood,
Aye.
Alderman Newsom.
Aye.
Motion passes. Item 4, reports and communications, open for item of discussion only regarding the loop, discussion regarding the loop for River Road, and that should be the water main loop. Director, would you get us started here? Give us a little description of what's going on out there and why should we be concerned?
He's here now.
Oh, I'm sorry, here's our Mr. Engineer.
Good afternoon, council members. So the looping in River Road involves connecting the main, it's at the southwest corner of the 9th Ward. It's the last road that does not connect the mains together. Our specifications do call for the mains to be looped. Our previous engineering consultant had identified this area as needing the work. The reason why we're pursuing this now is because we're also looking at a road program, and the road program will also fix the road, and we're able to do the main at the same time. So it makes sense for us to do the work now. Not only will it help the city, but we can also sell as a wholesale service to the adjacent cities, which is Warren Township that's next to us. So pursuing the looping of the main, it'll roughly be 5,700 feet of main and road construction. Our current engineer that's doing the water modeling is also putting a price together. And hopefully the next time they'll have a presentation if you have further questions. But yes, looping the last main at River Road will help the system, not only to sell to the other communities and tie the existing neighborhoods, which will, as developing continues, we're able to have the service there. But the other item there is, I just forgot. Oh yeah, the road itself. It's if you drive through there, it's on the right hand side and the left hand side on the shoulders. It's in bad shape.
Right. So that is this a water main that goes down the center of River Road?
Yes.
And it's going to connect where, down at Buckley Road?
So it goes into River Road from Belvedere right before the first bend.
Right.
And it stops there. The other one is Amansi Court, which is roughly 5,700 feet down. So there's no main there at all.
Oh.
In between those two areas.
Wow.
And then, so the other item with this looping is the residents right now are susceptible to not having water in case there's a main break near the north side of that area, and we have to go out there and fix it. They'll be without water for that period of time and possibly longer while the crews are staged.
So where is it going to loop into?
It's already in the system. The system is already, it goes on Belvedere towards River Road.
Right.
And there's the other part of the line that feeds the ward that's even further south.
Oh,
and
I
it goes
see.
along River
I
Road.
see.
Yes, we're just connecting to
I got it.
the two dead ends.
Okay, got it. Okay, thank you very much.
And the idea is you don't want to do the road work until you do the main line work.
That
Because
is
then
it.
you'd have to rip up the road again, right?
That is correct.
So you want to do it all at once?
Yes.
Okay.
Question?
And just one question. How does that facilitate selling the water to the other communities?
Because we have no main there. So whether in that strip, there's no main. So if they want, and we do see requests coming to tie in. Right now, there's no way for them to tie in. So our specification does call for the city of Waukegan residents. Once we put a main down, they have to tie back into the main if you're within 100 feet. Now, that's not applicable to the Warren Township, but once they figure out there's a main there, it's in their best interest to tie into the main.
Right. Mr. Kirkwood.
Well, that answered my question, because my concern is that we've talked about selling water west, and does that help that project to sell to the western communities?
It helps. It's for us of being good neighbors. If we have the water main there, and they have problems with their sump pump or their well, they're able to tie into our main, and obviously that's not the city's cost. Right. That's on their cost, but we will have the service there.
So that would allow us to provide water service to that western portion of Libertyville and that like Nickel and Dime Farms that's along on the west side of River Road.
Right, but I thought that we were also looking at providing Waukegan water
Further
to that area there out on River Road, those homes there that are on wells. I thought that we were talking about providing water to those homes out there where now we don't.
That's the ones on Mance Court, right?
Mancy Court, it's, I believe you're talking about the residences that are of Belvedere, the ones you can see.
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, I don't know what permits they have or not, so I can't answer that now. In theory, they should, and there's already a portion of the main there, but in order to get a better system, we'll have to connect it.
I'm going to do you a favor, but go ahead.
Oh.
If the main goes right down the road and you have to tear the whole road up to do, are you gonna have to close that road when you do
They
it?
can do it in sections. So they have flaggers. If you go out to any, if you ever pass by any road work, they're able to stage it off either.
Well, that road's not super wide out there. I mean, it's 2 lanes, but it's barely 2 lanes.
It's not, but they're able to get through right now with 2 lanes. You will have flaggers.
Okay.
And you will have road restrictions.
All right, thanks, Jesus. Any
you.
other questions? All right, call for the motion, or actually, that was just the item of discussion, so thank you very much, sir. And thank you, Mr. Garland. Item B, under reports and communications, discussion regarding the relocation of traffic control box. Mr. Lerner made a kind of talked about it a little bit here at audience time, but this is the time for discussion amongst the committee members if anyone has any questions or comments or suggestions. Anything?
So that particular box, I know where it's located now. Are we going directly across the street? Are we going in the parking lot area? Exactly where are we relocating that box where it's going, in the area where there is some greenery, on the side there going down the hill towards the...
It would be in the south east corner. So it's going across the street on the southeast corner. Well, it's not on the paper, but
Across the
the
street.
southeast corner.
Oh, okay.
Southeast corner of Washington and Sharon.
And Sheridan.
Okay, so it's on that, where the testing center is, right on that...
No.
That's the southwest corner. Southeast.
Across, right across.
Inside, but across Washington.
Okay.
Stays on the same side of Genesee, but it goes across the other side. I mean, the same side.
Exactly.
So, dear Lord. It's telling me the council meeting is starting now. So, excuse me for the interruption. So, I have a concern here, and I understand about partnership, and I understand the project, and I'm in favor of it. This picture that you provided, Jay, is awesome, this rendition. I guess I have a concern. The city, basically gave that building to the Park District
Yes.
for $1. That's all right, you can just answer there. Yeah. Yeah, so we gave you guys, gave the building over to the Park District, and now you're wanting us to share the expense. We gave you a free building, so I don't know why we would now pay $50,000. So we give you the building, and then we give you $50,000, so you could have the building. That's kind of, I guess that's not really a question, but yeah, if you want to respond.
Yes, I could see what you're saying, Alderman, but in the big picture, we're renovating downtown Waukegan. We're putting $12 million into a historic building that will bring in local and regional tourism, which will bring a lot of people to Waukegan, and that box is right in the middle of, the picture as you see.
Yeah.
You'll see the box before you see this beautiful building. We have a lot of, like I said, we've received grants and donations, but we're putting millions in from our own Park District money. So to help out, it helps out the whole downtown movement and renovating and making things a place to go. So that's the mindset there,
Yeah, I understand.
where we're coming from.
Okay, great. Thanks, Jay. Appreciate you. All right. Any other questions or comments regarding this project? And no? Okay. That closes out discussion then. I would like, if you will, humor me, a motion to adjourn this meeting at 6:02 p.m.
So moved.
Motion by Alderman Newsom, second by Alderman Kirkwood. All in favor? Aye. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much for your attention and participation.